Hello, and welcome to Detect Nerd's Auroboros, Coils of the Serpent. If you don't remember what happened last time, or you didn't watch the last episode, boo for you, because I'm not doing a recap. We're just going to get into it. Let's not live in the past. Let's live in the future. Now.
Future.
Let's live into the present. Let's do present.
Because today gift.
Wait. Let's live in the future. What's this say? We're all level 17.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. You're all level 17.
We're fighting the serpent.
We're in space.
Yeah.
Right now, let's get into it. You are all currently running towards the Rusty Hollows, which is the local quarry giant's home and place of work. There is a massive, unusual storm that has just brewed above you. There's these thick, black, smoky clouds over the two moons. It was just a clear night before this. There are booms and crashes of thunder, and terrifying purple lightning streaks are striking the ground, causing spider webs of purple energy to crackle throughout the sands, and big bursts of sand just exploding from the ground, and wind starts to pick up out of nowhere. So there's just furious sand swirling around you as you try to make your way to safety. There are a couple of 15 to 20 foot giants holding up large boulders, trying to block the lightning from hitting the crowd of folks that are running with you. These giants are all wearing like hardy work gear. There's thick canvas pants and jackets along with desert hoods. And as they're holding these boulders up and trying to keep you from the lightning streaks, the boulders are kind of shattering and hitting the giants' backs. They're scattering and falling into the desert sands. I would like dex checks from everybody as you are running, please.
Saving throw or just check?
Let's do saving throw.
Natural 20.
Natural
Cool.
20.
Wow.
Whoa!
We're fine.
14.
Okay.
12.
You got a 14?
Mm-hmm.
It was 12. The DC
Yes.
was 12.
Okay.
But you are going to take half.
Okay.
All of us?
So nat 20s don't. You just,
Wow.
because I'm nice. Ooh. You're going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as these boulders kind of like tumble off these giants' backs.
Oh, this is the boulders, not the strength.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's just like debris that's kind of, and so you kind of get hit as you're trying to run. And I want to show you what you're running towards real quick. This is the quarry you're running towards.
Oh.
Yeah, it's giant. It's huge. So you are rounding this towering corner of these cliffs, and you're looking towards another giant that's pushing a big stone barricade, revealing an opening almost a mile high into the cliffside. And you see, as you're running, you do notice that there is a very tall female woman, not as big as the giants, but she seems to be helping people and yelling directions. And I think, you know what? I don't have the character stats for that. So I think we're going to invite someone in. Andrea, would you like to take a seat over here?
Just sit in the middle.
Oh.
Andrea, so you are, your character is currently involved in helping escort people from the Shifting Sands Ball into your place of home, the quarry. Can you please describe your character and maybe how she's doing what she's doing and everything?
So she's about 9 feet tall. Giants have a tendency to be about 20 feet tall, so she's about half size for a giant. She has got tan skin from being in the desert and being beaten by the sands and the winds. And it's a little bit leathery because she spends a lot of time outside. She has dark hair in braids, too many braids. It seems like an unintentionally like that's a thing that she's made a part of her identity. She's very tall. She seems to be wearing clothes that don't quite fit exactly right, but seem to be made of nicer materials than most of the people around here. Most of the people are in work gear. She's in stuff that can be seen around, but it's fitted a little bit oddly, probably because things don't come in her size normally.
So she's very clearly like a figure of station within this community.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
She seems more comfortable with these outsiders in the quarry than most of the giants in this area. Some of them seem a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do with this situation, and she seems a lot more comfortable with them.
Okay.
So basically you are helping people you are leading them into this giant entrance, this quarry entrance. And as you all go towards the entrance of this quarry, you do see a human man that seems to also be helping people inside, and you would know him a lot better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Could you please describe your father for us, please?
So he is a human. He's a small guy, even small for like a human man. He's got little glasses, little spectacles, and like too many pockets on his clothes. He seems way too excited about everything. He's just a very excitable guy.
And right now he's excited about saving people. And
Getting everyone inside. Come on, let's do it. He looks like a guy that knows a lot of puns.
Big dad joke. Energy.
Visually, he looks that way.
And well, I mean, like, you can tell. And he's also kind of like a spaghetti guy. Like, he's just a little, has some Muppet energy.
Okay.
So he's standing right at the entrance as you're all getting towards this entrance. I would say that he's probably wearing a desert hood. You can still see his spectacles behind the goggles. His thick canvas pants are just like littered with pockets. And he is wearing like a loose cotton shirt with a breast pocket as well, and of course a pocket protector.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of struggling to keep his mouth scarf up, as like there's just a kind of, as you're getting into this like divot into the cave, into the quarry cliffs. There's like kind of you know how tornadoes kind of happen when and so there's sand and dust and debris, and you get to the quarry, all of you. Yes.
Gary actually is not with everybody.
Okay. What's Gary doing?
He has, before he got there, he started to slacken his pace, and he's now kind of cackling and looking up at the sky and shooting eldritch blasts at the sky.
Interesting.
I'd say he's like maybe 40, 50 feet away from this entrance.
Okay, give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Can I do an insight check on Gary?
Yep. Give me a perception check, because if you are all the way in the entrance of the quarry.
I'd like to also.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to get down on perception at least.
24.
Okay.
21.
15.
I mean, I think it might be kind of hard for you to see, but you see blasts that are familiar to you going up towards the sky while there's lightning coming down, and you're like, that looks familiar. But you guys immediately clock Gary acting extremely, what's the word? Frantic?
Well, yeah, his eyes are kind of wide. He's laughing kind of in a frantic way. You would also see that his tendrils, his kind of tentacle things on his head, which are usually just kind of like a big heap of dreads, are kind of wriggling like a Medusa's head. And he's just kind of like, ha ha ha! And standing there shooting up at the sky. He got a 14 on his dexterity saving throw.
A 14? Okay, so you'll take half. Half of 6, 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to call this not bludgeoning damage. I'm going to call this lightning damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hell is he doing out there?
I don't know. I don't
And
think.
as you see him, he
think we
immediately gets struck by a lightning bolt. Like he kind of like almost avoids it, but he still gets the crackle of the energy. Still gets him.
Let's discuss it with some inside.
Can I do an insight check now?
Yes, you can do an insight check.
I just want to see what the hell he's doing. 19?
I would say he seems kind of frantically happy, but like a little off kilter. You can't tell what he's shouting in his own language, which I don't think anybody knows.
What would you like to do?
So I will have continued running a bit further,
Okay.
but when I see that I'm the only one continuing, I'm gonna halt, look back, and can I roll a do you want me to roll a perception? I'm essentially my goal is to get back with them.
Gare seems to be having some sort of.
So you
Same.
guys are at the entrance of the quarry, and you're looking back and seeing Gary.
Okay.
You're seeing his Eldritch blasts, but you're not necessarily seeing where you're getting lost.
Cool.
He's getting muddled within the crowd that's
Gotcha,
running.
gotcha.
We're blocking.
past
So
you.
we're already there.
We're
Yeah,
blocking
you're
some
in
of
the
you.
entrance now, but Gary is not with you.
Okay.
So what do you want? What would you like to do about that?
I mean, I'm gonna run up to Gary and be like, "Gary, we don't have time for this.
Yeah,
You
I'm
need to
gonna
get
run
inside.
back
You can
to
shoot.
Gary.
You can shoot your magic at the sky from inside."
Gary's gonna be like, "It's for everyone in common." It's for everyone in common. And I guess you might, if you tug at him, he'll kind of grudgingly
Yeah,
throw you
yeah.
back inside.
Yeah, Rebel's gonna just reach up and kind of like,
Yeah.
yes, for everyone, but everyone's inside, so let's go inside. Don't shoot anyone.
And he's gonna keep on shooting at the sky, but as he pulls him inside.
Sure.
Eldritch Blast is a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
You're
just use
like,
those spell slots.
Phew. And I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna do something.
Get your ass inside, Gary.
Okay, people are two right now. No one's noticing you doing this with the Eldritch Blast, but because I rolled low. But I think it's everybody's very distracted. But it would be a little worrying for people to see you be doing this, because it almost could seem like you're doing this.
Oh yeah, causing the whole thing.
So no one is paying attention to you right now.
And shouting, "It's for everyone."
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Everybody back outside.
So you all enter the quarry
Yeah,
begrudgingly, but
Yeah.
you're entering the
Yeah, I'm
quarry.
kind of like shaking it
Do we
off.
Yeah,
see
We're all
I think-
Sala
dragging Gary.
and Duncan anywhere?
Give me perception checks.
Oh, can I look for Rungus?
Yes. No.
A 1.
I
16.
Okay.
got 26.
Who are you looking for?
Solid. And,
You do see Sala is already inside. He's looking he's looking for the giant that has Duncan.
Correction. I'm looking for Nixie, Shoreline, and LOL.
Not Rabas.
That's not right.
Fair enough.
Would be
You
specific.
you do not see them yet, but they
Oh.
could possibly be in the crowd. It's a big crowd.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people at the festival, and some people are straggling behind because they were all the way farther into the festival, and they're running, and some people might had run to the city. I don't know.
Is Grunk here with Sala?
Grunkir is being held by a giant.
Oh, okay.
That's coming inside, and Sala is looking for this giant, and so you do see Sala, and the giant holding Duncan coming in, and Sala's already inside.
So a giant is holding Duncan as well as Grunk here?
Actually, I don't think you see Grunkir
No.
yet.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you were kind of with him, and I think maybe he straggled behind. He's not as quick of a runner.
What does the inside of this place look like?
I'm about to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me all the things.
You enter this quarry, and there are, like I said, there's still people trickling in, and there's like swirls of sand kind of flowing in behind you. And you come into this enormous stone city. The cave ceiling is about a half mile above you. There are homes and what you assume to be other buildings carved into the walls of the cave walls all along the sides. There are big pools of the most clear blue water that you've ever seen in the center of this city. You also notice vast and like detailed humanoid statues carved in between the stone homes. They're huge structures. Each one has a different expression and stance. You can see there are runic details on the bodies. I mean, like, the years and years it would take to do something like this of like intricacy, but also with stone and the enormous size is kind of hard to wrap your brain around a little bit. And then throughout the city, there are rail lines that are kind of zigzagged and winding, and you do see that you are near a rail line that ends, and there's a big manual rail cart at the end of it, or I guess it'd be at the beginning.
Now, are these human-sized rails and rail carts?
They are giant-sized.
Okay, so these rails are big.
Big.
Okay.
Give me perception checks while you're at it, while we're looking at the interior of, I'll get to you, the interior of the quarry area.
17.
Okay.
I definitely left mine over there.
22.
Anna, are you doing perception?
Yeah, I had 21.
21? Would you get 17?
22.
You're
Distracted.
You're distracted easily.
You're a little guy.
Yeah.
A lot of big things.
But you guys, and I mean, even with an 8, you would see these things, but you wouldn't see the detail. You're not looking at the details.
I'm busy. I'm too concerned about Gary.
I think you are. I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Gary, you okay there? You all right, bud?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're doing a lot of magic in front of a bunch of people and shooting it up at the sky.
I mean, maybe I was just pointing. I could have been just pointing. Up
No, it wasn't just pointing.
We all saw it.
See,
we all
this is
saw it.
pointing. Whenever something crackles and shoots from your fingers, that's magic.
Yeah.
That's,
No, it's fine. I just understood something finally.
okay. Maybe that revelation wasn't the best. Maybe it wasn't the best celebrated in the middle of a lightning storm.
That's fair.
So with your perception checks, the three of you notice murals and carvings on each of these stone like building structures all around you. You see luscious, it's almost like a scene as you're looking from the left all the way around to the right. And first you see luscious rolling hills, what seems like a happy community living together in harmony. But as the scenes continue, you notice a lot of darkness start to become incorporated into these paintings. You see these wretched and mangled, rageful creatures. You see destruction, chaos, bloodshed. Then you see something that depicts giants fleeing in terror. And as you keep looking upon this huge mural, you see this very desert cliff that you're in. And you see resettlement, you see industry, trade, and advancement. You see a new home. And I would love it if, I think Sierra and Merritt are probably best at these history checks. And I'm going to say you can get them do them with advantage, because you would have been taught this probably at the Bowinder Monastery, and you've just been alive for a very long time.
19.
19.
19? Wow. Just a couple of 19s hanging out. So I'll do Sierra first, because I think this is what you would know more about this situation. These animals, these rageful creatures, are very familiar to you, because this is kind of how the Wild Keepers began, essentially. This is how they got their beginning. These animals depicted here are representing the Howling. In 244 after the Serpent, the third eruption of the Howling began, and the Druids agreed that they had to do more than simply hide from the Howling, but they must take the fight directly to this nightmarish, rageful animal army. And to do so, the Ormhai, the Druids, created its own warriors, empowered with druidic magic and bonded with powerful animal spirits, known as the Wild Keepers. So the Wild Keepers fanned out across the barrier peaks, and often traveling alone or in small bands, and they kind of moved through the dense thickets with their heightened senses, alert for the Howling's marauders. And that's when Wild Keepers found the prey, they would strike without mercy, and they would disappear back into the forest shadows before their enemies, these creatures, could retaliate. So that's kind of, you recognize this because this is kind of like, I mean, and honestly, the Wild Keepers have only been around, it's like, right now it's like 250 after the Serpent. So really the Wild Keepers have only been around for about 6 years. So that's something that you would know, but then you would also know this information that I'm going to give Merritt about the Howling. So the Howling happened before the Serpent, in the years before the Serpent. So there was a war between Celeria and a faction that you would know as the Necromancy. They used fiends and undead, and the church was trying to fight them and bring peace, because the necromancy was becoming widespread. And during this war, one of the most tragic casualties of it was a benevolent forest god called Ralavac. It's an immortal lord of the Manticores, Ralavac. So Ralavac led a cohort of his mightiest Manticores to this battle against the Necromancy, and he was grievously wounded during an aerial battle with an infernal dragon. And it was wounded, and since it was done by a dragon's demonic claws, its body could not fully heal from the wounds it had inflicted. So Ralavac decided to drag itself away from the battle, knowing that this demonic poison would take over his body, and he didn't want to be involved. He wanted to go as far south as he possibly could. So he flew as far south as he could, and finally succumbed to pain and weariness, and he plummeted from the sky and crashed into the mountainous wilderness known as the Barrier Peaks. And it corrupted the land. His corrupted blood corrupted the land around him, and basically corrupted creatures all around him. All just a bunch of creatures, satyrs, tree ants, all these creatures became corrupted with this demonic rage, essentially. And these Stagoth druids were horrified by what was happening in the land. And so they tried to discover the source of the problem, and they found Ralavac. And so they were like, well, let's put him into a deep sleep. This will help, let's just put him into a deep sleep. And at first the spell was working. It slept kind of fitfully, but it still had agonizing, nightmarish lashing out. And it finally continued to corrupt the land, and it eventually corrupted the Stagoth druids themselves. And this warped god became their god. And that's how the Howling began. So they started to have these hordes of rageful, just a culmination of just rage and demonic blood and all these things, and they would basically rampage and kill anything within its reach. And so that is something, and that the hill giants of Barrier Peaks had to flee from the Howling, and they fled here to the desert. And that's how that's a little bit of their origin. So that's what you're seeing with these murals. Give me a perception check, would you, Andrea?
Who ate?
That's okay. I feel like you're kind of distracted. But I will say this, as you're kind of walking in, you do notice this group kind of looking around at the murals, this ragtag group. And you did probably notice someone chewing off, and acting a little
Weird
frantic.
behavior.
Yes, yes. So I'll leave that with you. You see these people kind of like admiring the murals and kind of like, and I don't know if you're discussing this with each other or not, but
No, I'm gonna take my hood back
Mm-hmm.
and then pause for a moment and just bow my head at the carvings.
yeah, like they're just massive murals and carvings just all around the city, covering the buildings and everything.
I think specifically when I get to the point of the howling and the hill giants fleeing,
Okay.
specifically that.
And you probably noticed someone bowing with ram's horns, and you see a Salamar creature. Humanoid. I guess it's
Person.
Yeah,
We're
person.
all
Salamar person.
creatures.
Yeah.
We're all creatures here.
With ram's horns, and I think within the history and your ancestry, you know wild keepers. Like you would know their history with the howling and everything. You used to sit around fires, and you're
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller,
Yeah.
and I love those stories and how intertwined our people are.
so you see that.
Well, I'm going to so I'm going to kind of gather the general masses the way that I have been, and make my way over to this strange group, this ragtag group of unusual people. And I'm going to come to them and I'm going to say, you all look a little bit lost. Come this way, if you will. We need to get the people in past the entrance so that we can close it, and make sure that everyone's safe.
We're afraid there's still one more of our compatriots maybe outside.
What would you say?
I said, I'm a grunk here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm concerned.
What happened? Is there need for help?
He's just sort of a very helpless person.
And
In general.
behind you hear.
Okay, never mind. We're good.
Oh man! What in the heck and hoot and hollering going on out there? I don't know. You see his hair's been frizzled. It's just you see a desert dwarf that is way scrawnier than a normal desert dwarf.
See what I mean?
Very helpless.
He has a patchy beard, and it looked like he was trying to be fancy for tonight, but it more looked. I keep referring to it as Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. It just looks sad. But yes, he's very.
But he did run a comb through it.
Sort of. Yeah.
An attempt was made.
There was an attempt.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna gesture to the giants that are standing in wait to make that move.
Cool.
That it's okay to do now.
Cool.
And so that they could close it off.
Could I roll a perception to see if I see the lady in white or there are two people I'm looking for. The coolest woman in the room.
Yeah,
in the cave.
Yes.
Who's the lady in white?
D.
Devanya.
Devanya.
Can I see just
I forgot you saw her.
clearly? Looked like that photo you showed of the place. Was there a pool of water?
Mm-hmm. There's multiple pools of water.
Okay. Gary's going to go into a pool of water and kind of splash.
It is far. It's
How far?
it's probably 200 feet, 300 feet away.
Okay.
It's a huge, this is
They're like lakes.
Yeah, they're like lakes.
Okay.
To you.
Right. But
Yeah.
To us, they're little.
Yeah. I mean, you can still do that.
Yeah,
I
Gary's
will
going to
just
start
need
off
to.
towards. He's going to start off towards one of the lakes.
Okay.
I think Rabble would join you.
Okay.
Just sort of more or less being concerned for your mental state right now.
Yeah. He's still kind of panting. It looks like he's settling down.
And as you are walking towards these pools, you do notice that the giant has already, the giant carrying Duncan has already made its way towards the pool and is laying Duncan on the, there's stone benches and stuff like that all around those pools and stuff like that. And you can see, we'll just wait.
Okay.
But you do see that one of the giants puts down, and Sala is already over there too.
Okay.
14.
For the lady in white and
Yeah.
the coolest, you don't see either of them.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you don't see either of them.
Are you telling me the coolest person in the world isn't posted up somewhere
Already?
I mean,
seen
just
from
on a
that's
by
true.
everybody?
We haven't seen her
you
yet.
don't
You know
see
they were
her yet.
chilling in the doorway looking like they'd been there the whole time.
You don't see her
They've already
yet.
found the VIP assistant.
Yeah.
Oh, Arcane Lightning Storm.
You don't see her yet. And I will say, yeah, you don't know.
Okay,
You don't.
cool. Cool.
So there's a massive amount of people in here right now.
Yeah,
And
everyone's crowded.
It's
into
very
this space.
crowded in, and so everybody's trying to figure out where they need to go. And I will say, Magnilda, give me another perception check, would you?
9.
Okay.
I'm very overwhelmed by how many people are in this space.
I will say this, Sierra and Merritt, where are you right now?
I'm trailing behind the cohort just a bit, just because I had stopped to look.
Okay.
But I'm headed that way as
Okay.
well.
So I'm going to say that Magnilda, you're near Sierra and Merritt. I think Gary and Rabble are a little further ahead, going to the pools.
I'm with Grunk here, making sure that he's okay.
Okay.
But
Oh man, that was
seeing
something else. I really didn't know what was going on. Is this normal?
I've never seen anything like this.
I haven't either. I've never.
And she's next to me, correct?
Mhm.
I used to be taller.
I look at you and I go, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, you see, I guess I didn't really describe the characters for you, but you would have seen, this is a Salamara woman,
I'm
older.
kind of crunched over. I did used to be taller, just by an inch or two, but to me that's pretty important.
That's a lot.
And yeah, I mean, I have these curled horns, and like, you can tell, like, if you knew anything about rams, that it's got the multiple lines that distinguish how old I am, and I am very old. And
You got tree rings going on.
yeah. And I've got kind of like an old worn staff that has some baubles on the end, and I'm just kind of hobbling. I mean, not hobbling. I'm walking very sprightly behind my group. But,
Okay. But you're older.
but I'm older.
Clearly older.
Yeah, and I'm wearing kind of like a cloak of leaves and rustling around, so.
Wow, that's very green for this area.
And you all hear this like crunching noise as this big barrier is starting to close. It takes a minute because it's a big old stone barrier that covers this entrance. And I will say, you guys are approached by a very familiar friend of Magnilda's. You see a, how do I want to describe him? I don't know, maybe we should let him describe himself.
Ew.
Hey.
You see a very old friend approach you, Magnilda. He says, "Hey, wait, hold the door." And he runs on in and sees you right as you enter. Brock, would you like to...
Mags. Is that you?
Yeah, yep.
It's been
I didn't
so
know you were
long.
still out there.
You old mudslinger?
Yep. I didn't know that you were still at the festival.
always around these parts.
This is not the first time I've seen you slide in before the door closed.
Can you describe your character for me, please?
Yes, I got a rather dingy, maybe used to be white but isn't anymore, 3-piece suit on with hearts all over it. An oversized fedora that's covering my ears a little bit. I have an extreme confidence, of course, but you can't tell if it's just natural or maybe induced on some sort of drug. And I have a strange look to me, like I shaved my whole body and face recently.
Wait, are you human?
You can't quite tell that.
And actually, if you want to give me an insight check on, or I guess perception or investigation on just like his features.
10?
What do you want to do? Investigation? I feel like that'd be probably the best.
Oh.
Or perception.
I feel like investigation
It's
is more
10 with
hands-on. She's
you're like-
You're like, what's going on here?
It's 10 with perception. It's
Okay.
7.
Now wait till you
10.
What are we doing? Is she touching me? Or?
No, she's not.
I'm not touching her.
She's just like giving you like these.
Are you
the
joking?
old lady
Okay.
assessing, just like.
Okay,
Yes.
I wanted to know how I'm being assessed.
So you
I also take my staff and poke at your knees.
you approach Magnilda, which you know is a half giant,
Yes.
and you approach an older Salamar lady, which Salamar look like salamanders, but
Oh, okay.
they're on
Big
on
Big
2
eyes.
feet,
Okay,
big ol'
so
eyes.
you're going like this at me.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also have cataracts too.
Oh, okay,
So
so it's like this.
yeah, my eyes have like a little blue sheen to them.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of looking at you through a haze.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's who you approach. And let's go to Gary and Rabble. So you are walking towards these pools, and actually, yeah, let's do this first. You're walking towards these pools of water. You do notice you kind of walk through, and there's some buildings that are surrounding these lakes. Where they're big, they're made for giants, where they kind of look like little businesses or like tavern or whatever around these like lake areas. A lot of the areas are just open because there's no weather necessarily, so a lot of windows are open. There's really just a lot of curtains that just keep things. There's not a lot of privacy. It's just kind of open. And as you're approaching these pools, you do see around the pools that there are older, elderly giants just kind of sitting and watching the commotion, not really doing much, but they're kind of watching the water and watching all the commotion. And they just seem very calm and not really affected by whatever is going on. So you see that.
I'll wave at them. Hello.
Hello there. You're very small.
You're very big.
Yeah, well, I was taller.
You heard that all the way over here?
I got some good ears still.
Apparently.
It echoes in here. I can
That's-
hear everything.
that makes sense.
What's your name, little guy?
My name is Rabble.
Hello, Rabble.
This is my friend Gare.
Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Hi. Are you still?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look like you could use a dip in the pool.
I sure could. And he's going to run up and sort of splash his face.
Yeah, so this water is like the best water you've experienced in a very long time. It is spring water. And this older giant will explain this to you, like, it comes from underneath and it goes and it bubbles up and it's a spring.
As
and
they're talking,
it's very cold.
Gary's actually starting to just kind of slip all the way into the water. And he gets in the
That's
water.
fine.
So it's like his face.
They don't mind. Okay, bye.
Oh, what's your name?
My name is Agra.
Aqua.
Yes. I saw you talking to my granddaughter over there, Magnilda. Yes. She's very
yeah.
helpful around these parts.
So I have not quite met her yet. I was a bit concerned for my friend here who seemed to be having
No, I'm all right now. It's fine. I just had sort of
a moment.
a moment and overexcitement. It's all right.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
Well, it's like I realized all at once that like the powers that we use, maybe not you so much, maybe a little bit. They don't belong to anyone. Like they don't belong to a patron or a government. It's like it's for us. Like we don't need anyone else to govern this power that's infinite, and it's just for us to seize as we need to use for whatever purpose we want. And he's got kind of crazy eyes.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous sort of take on things, I guess. But to a degree, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Well, all my life they were like, "Oh, we'll grant you these powers, as you know, to use as we tell you to, but we can use them for whatever we want, to do good, or to right the wrongs of the world, or to create justice."
I can understand your power came from a very
Very nasty thing.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, you haven't gone into immense detail about that, but
I don't even know, honestly. Like they told me its name and that it was the source of power.
what was its name?
Well, I wasn't supposed to tell anyone, but I think it was a little lie. Its name was Charybdis.
Corinthus?
Charybdis. And we were supposed to serve it and bring it food of a certain kind.
Which was?
Which was souls. Our job, they were teaching us, was to harvest souls and bring them to this being, which they had a whole song and dance about how it was for the greater good.
And this was a Solarian church.
No, this was the cult when I was a child. The Solarian church I thought was rescuing me from this awful being, and then I discovered that maybe they weren't much better themselves. This whole time, all these powers are being kept for other purposes when they could belong to us directly.
Okay, yeah, you just dumped a bunch of personal information on me all at the same time. I'm here for it. You've been very reserved.
What is that you're saying now,
Nothing,
man?
nothing, it's
I would
fine.
love to have a conversation. Nothing much
He's
happens
just talking
around
about.
here.
We're talking about. We're talking about cottage cheese. He's a big curd guy. I'm a small curd fan.
Small curd
really don't like cheese at all.
But yes, perhaps. Yeah, maybe if you're done,
No,
is that
another
cool?
time. I'm sorry.
I
another
personally like the little curds.
See, little curd guy
All
myself.
curds are little to you, Grandma.
That's true. How did I hear you from all the way over there?
I shouted.
It's kind of like it's sort of like that.
It echoes.
Yeah, it's like that echo chamber in like Central Station or whatever, where you can like
hear it
stand in a
like-
corner and whisper, and they can hear you in the other corner. It's like that, maybe. You know,
Yeah,
weird
sometimes I just
acoustics, who
whisper at a
knows?
wall.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those
Grandma, calm
whisper,
down.
one of those whisper satellites.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So we're chatting with this one giant, and there are other giants around us. Are they speaking in common or
Yeah,
their own language?
they're
Okay,
speaking in
they're all
common.
speaking in common. All right.
And so while this door is closing, I'm gonna want one of y'all to do a luck roll for me, please.
Dibs.
No.
Yeah, you
No.
Who's doing it?
You roll.
Rebels got it.
5.
I was kind of hoping Chris would do it. Okay.
Bring it.
As this boulder is being closed by a giant, you see, well, let me just describe what happens. As the last group, so Grunk here was like one of the last ones, but then there's like just a quick group. Yip ran in, and then there's just a few more people trickling in. You hear outside this huge thunder crash and see a flash of light right outside the entrance. And the man that you passed, Magnilda's father, you don't know that he's his father, but the human man that was outside kind of comes out and looks up at the cliff outside the entrance, and he starts to yell. You guys are close enough to him where he says, "Everybody move in, get out of the way." And you start to look up to see what he's looking at, and you feel first of all, you feel the ground tremble, but then you see that the cave ceiling starts to tremble and create this deep rumble within, and you finally see a small crack start to form at the entrance, and it suddenly starts to crumble, and the whole entrance starts to cave in on itself. Yes.
Is the little man?
The
with
little
glasses,
man is
he in the
making
way?
he's running, he's making sure everybody, so this is like a quick, like 6-second thing where he has to run and get out of the way. I'm going to do a dex save for him, and then whoever's within, which I would say that you are probably all within 30 feet of this situation. As you're running away from it, I'll need dex saves as well.
Okay.
Yip, I'll need a dex save from you too.
Ooh, 3.
Okay.
I think I just tripped, didn't I?
Yeah, you probably tripped. What'd you guys
He's
get?
my love interest.
14.
Okay.
He's he's
I mean,
my
no.
last.
Dirty 20.
Okay. What did you get? I'm sorry.
14.
14? Dirty 20?
8.
Okay. So the two of you, as this is all crumbling in on itself, like there's just like boulders falling and caving in, and honestly, it's it's coming in and it's falling in front of where the barrier was, and so everything is going to be blocked. But it's all like, you know, when a cave-in happens and everything like whoosh, kind of like, so it's probably pushing you a little bit. So I would say just the deck saves are for if you can stay stay standing or not. So you two get knocked prone, and you land on the floor. And this dust kind of like floats out, and you're all seeing this situation. And Phil needs to do a deck save.
With my dirty 20, could I react? Because is he the only one that's still booking it?
Yeah, he was the last one because he was looking at what was going on.
Could I just gut react with a thorn whip with the intention of grabbing him and pulling him 10 feet closer to me?
Yeah, give me an attack roll.
Oh, brother. With the intention of not harming
I understand
to the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 21.
Yeah. Yeah, it wraps. I would say, where do you want it to wrap around?
My hope was like an ankle, and then I was gonna pull his feet from underneath
do that,
them.
and he goes, "Whoa!"
It's not around his waist where you pull him into the one arm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You can change it if you want to do that.
I am a queer woman. That's true. No.
You're also
It was
too
a
small
joke.
for him.
I thought you said
likes
he was
it
your
big.
love interest. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
It was no. I only have eyes for the coolest woman in the room. So
fair.
I pulled the legs from underneath him and pulled him
He's kind of breathly, and he's like, "Oh, wow, hello, thank you. You are interesting looking."
Don't look at me.
Dad.
I'd like to talk about your past and what you're all about.
Speaking of interesting, seeing the man in the fedora and the heart-covered suit, who looks like he's been recently shaved his whole body, can I run past Merritt, who is also prone, and begin helping Yip up?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm so sir, are you all right there? I've sort of decided that he's my new best friend.
Okay.
Just a roll.
Rebel,
for
where are
that.
you going? Rebel,
What?
where are you going?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, Carrie's left in the pool talking with Agra.
Okay.
And you run back and...
So he's helping me out. I
Yes.
get up and I take my fedora off, and I still got a bandana around that's covering my ears.
Okay.
And I brush myself over. Thank you, lad.
Oh, of course. That's quite a lovely suit. I hate to see it get dirty.
Oh, it's been around, seen some years.
I mean, if you didn't want it to get dirty, he's really in the wrong spot for it because he's going to be covered in dust in like 20 seconds. I've never seen this man not just full dust cloud behind him.
Well, as you look at Rabble, you can tell he's also a very grimy little.
But you know what?
gremlin
I'm
person.
seeing it.
Right. No, it's similar vibes.
Yeah, so Yip, you're looking at a 4 foot,
Shorter than that.
3 foot
Yeah.
tall, you can describe yourself if you'd like.
He's like some sort of weird Zhukeen are technically halflings, but they're super feral looking. They have Rabble has big, almost kind of like bat-like ears, and almost kind of like a little weird bat-like nose. He's got lilac skin and long, spindly sort of fingers, and just real scraggly white hair, and sort of some slicked back white hair that is not pomade greased back. It's naturally greased back.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's also got a pretty nice looking coat that has a bunch of pockets and shit like that to it. Or it looks like it was at one time nice looking, but has just been ripped up and torn and stained and slept in several times over. But yeah, also a fellow very road weary looking human, or not human, little gremlin thing.
Yeah.
Yip heart. How the south. Thank you much.
Oh, of course. Oh, God, shit! I got it. Of course, I'm happy to help a fellow showman.
Showman's right. I can tell by you too that you're a showman.
Oh yeah, I was just in a puppet. Earlier today.
Just in a puppet.
Time of my life.
Fighting puppets?
No, just sort of
They have
it was
representation?
Do I have represent?
All these puppets.
Does Grunk here just like show up out of nowhere? And it's just like, well, actually, so I do have representation on Zoom.
Here's my card, just in case.
Grunk here, you're fired. Guys, I got us a new manager.
Grunk here's like on the ground, like looking at what just happened. He's like, hey, now what now? I'm fired.
I step over Grunk here to go show the rest of them Yip's business card.
Okay, so this cave-in happens, and you do start to hear a low horn start to sound, and you can give me perception checks if you'd like to see where this sound is coming from.
21.
If you got above a 15, let me know.
Nat 20.
Okay.
25.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. But you would probably already know that this exists because you grew up here, and you would too. So I'm not counting on that. But what'd you get?
21.
Okay, so everybody here, you look around and see that the sound is coming from where you're looking. It's straight ahead and above these like big openings, and you see in the cave ceiling. Walls. And you see like a large bell horn shape that's built into the wall, kind of like farther up. And that's where this sound is coming from. And you notice that a lot of giants start to come out of their little stone huts and stuff and start to observe what's happening at the entrance. And some people start to come towards it to discern what to do, to figure out what to do.
I'm going to start herding the people in, and I'm going to say, yep, we got to get these people to somewhere safer. Like, they don't realize this, but that thing has not had any cracks in it for 200 years. The fact that there's, like, issues now, like, we know that this is bad. We got to get them to somewhere that's, like, a little more secure.
I'm going to help the man up that I pulled closer to me and kind of brush him off, and then...
Oh, I appreciate. We really should talk. You seem like you have information. A lot of.
We're supposed to move inward. We can
Yes. Listen, my daughter here is, of course, Maggie will be happy to help.
Yes.
I need to go figure out what we're gonna do about this. I feel like your dad's like really positive all the time.
Oh yeah, no,
he's just like
he's so cheery
and just fascinated by everything. He's like, this hasn't happened in a very long time.
So my dad's an engineer, right? Like, he loves this stuff. He loves how everything's built. And he fell in love with a giant because he likes giant women. And so this is like the peak of his life, is that he just gets to live surrounded by giant women all the time. And that's pretty great for him. Just a weird little guy. Very into.
And if you see your mother, just tell her I'm good. Didn't get hit by those boulders.
Keep yourself safe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to explain to Mom, and I don't want to do that.
I still have my pocket
She's
protector.
very scary.
I feel pretty good about that.
So I'm also like just moving people in
I
nonchalantly,
think
I've just done this before. I'm like, come on, folks, you heard her. Let's take it on in a little bit.
Cool. And your father will say, hey, if you want to take him to my workshop, feel free.
Okay.
It might be a good spot.
Yeah, that is kind of their size.
Okay.
All right. Come on in this way, guys.
Yep.
We have a place for all of you.
And
Merritt stands up and brushes himself off.
Yes.
And for all the help above
yeah,
you,
everybody
for
else got
the strangers that you just helped out. No, I'm good. Thanks,
I
guys.
step over him while I'm
So I'm going to lead you to one of the side buildings. There's one of these little houses. And I lead all the people to this area. And I rap on the door frame to let old Ezron know that we're here.
So, honestly, I feel like Ezron's probably outside already, kind of stealing the scene, and he'll come up to you and be like, yeah, workshop's available. I'm gonna go help.
Great.
Because that seems like I'm sure your
I feel
dad
like
is
all
like
of these people being underfoot is going to keep everyone like a little. I've noticed some of the giants being a little bit, because for context, all of you normal people size are about to their knees, and then you're like about to like their half shin. Or maybe even
lower.
Maybe even
literal,
lower.
literal ankle biter.
Yeah. So they're all like acting like there's a bunch of like little kids around. And so they're feeling a little nervous. So I kind of am trying to get you to a space.
Cool. Gary, you're in the pool and you're noticing that you're hearing like that people are being taken.
Shepherded off. So I try to rejoin the party.
Okay.
Is there some kind of lip of this lake or someplace a little bit higher I could get up on and survey the scene?
Yeah, there's like there's different layers of like or levels of like stone.
Can I just look out and see if I see all of our party?
Yes.
And Rungus.
Yep.
And maybe I'll see other people.
Yeah, and you noticed that Duncan was being taken care of, and then once everybody...
All of Rungus care?
Well, most of Rungus. 3/4 of Rungus. 16.
You're looking for your party.
First, yeah, just to make sure I can see all of the...
They're easy to spot because they're walking with someone that you've never met, but he's got an interesting suit on.
Rabble's doing the come on wave.
Okay.
Yeah, and you also see that half giant that was helping earlier. So it's easy to see that they're kind of ahead of everybody and getting pushed off. And then you see some members of Rungus. They all actually are have their crew behind them. They managed to get their instruments and everything.
Oh, great.
So they are all...
How is LOL proceeding?
LOL's, you see the chest.
Just a chest, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow that all worked out.
So Gary's feeling a lot better. It looks like everybody's safe, and
Yeah.
so he'll run up and join the rest of the party.
Yeah, and Sala's kind of behind you with Duncan, like just like slowly. He's like saying to Duncan, like, when you feel better, you are grounded. You are grounded. When you feel better, though, because now I'm feeling a little worried about you, but we will talk about this when you're feeling better.
Rabble, do you have a flask?
Yes.
Okay, can I take it? Yeah. I'll hand it to Duncan.
And Sala's like, that is not being grounded.
Okay.
That is not being grounded.
Oh, it was empty.
Yeah, you didn't ask for a full flask, did you?
Right.
Gotcha.
I wasn't tasting in it. I've been a bit dry.
I understand.
Speaking of, Miss Giant Lady.
Yes.
Do you guys have any, say, like, giant booze?
Of course. Like,
Could
what
we
do
get
you think
I mean, I assumed. I just,
runs things around here? Dwarves aren't the only ones that are heavy drinkers.
Oh, no, of course. And I suppose this is all, brewed for hardier folk.
I think Ezron probably has some in his workshop. He has a lot of hobbies. He's a man with a lot of hobbies.
So you walk through this giant's home. Well, I guess it's not his home. I would say I think it's more of a workshop area. I don't think it's his home necessarily. I think unless it might be connected. He might live there too.
He's got a little sleep loft above the shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. So you head into this like big workshop area. And the first thing you all notice are tall tables, like perfect for like 20-foot giants, cover, and they're all on the tables. There's like big blocks of stone and like chiseling equipment and like other like doodads, just like a bunch of weird equipment that you probably wouldn't know what to do with. You might, you do see a, well, I'll get to that. Next to these tables, you also see a little workshop area that's perfect for a human. That's also just covered. Nothing is organized on these tables. It is all like, the madness. What's the phrase where
Like a method to the madness?
Yeah, there's a method to their madness.
Organized chaos.
Yes, organized chaos on their own. So, and then next to this, the smaller station, you do see a small blacksmith station where the oven's kind of still smoking. And then you notice like a kind of like a miniature town. There are buildings, like miniature in the sense, I'll get there. Miniature in the sense of like, for giants, definitely miniature. There are pieces of furniture, there's buildings, there's like fully functional like manual mining carts like being built, and other really interesting like modes of transportation that you've never really encountered, like 4 wheels, covered, but it looks like they could be attached, and be on a rail, and then there's all made of different kinds of like harder materials, and as you like approach this like miniature town, it seems like it should be perfect for like a regular adult human-sized humanoid, but they're just like a little off. It's almost like
Perfect for
a rabble, like kind of like that. And like gnomes and rabble, it's like they meant for it to be good for human size, but it's not really.
Sometimes the chair legs are a little tall.
Yes.
Sometimes the doorways are like too wide, but like not high enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
Rebels sort of just like walks up and is like, I think I found my Goldilocks.
and you do notice that there are some people already in these buildings. Give me a perception check.
Oh, gosh.
You know who it's going to be.
No, I don't. A 1.
you know nothing.
Oh.
Son of.
So there are people in these buildings, and that's what you see. So yeah, that's.
You've never seen tiny yarn grass, except there's so much of it, and it's very large yarn.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like a weird tiny town that they're in. So that's what you see. What's everybody doing?
I'm helping hoist people to like the different levels of the table so that like people can go and.
Yeah, I think Sala comes up to everybody and is like, what's.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I feel like we need to talk about this. I feel like no one's really we're not talking about what just happened.
I've never seen a storm like that before.
Yeah,
Is that normal?
Is that a common thing
Is
in
it?
this area?
I've never seen it.
No, it is not a common thing in this area. We've never seen something like that.
If anybody wants to give me Arcana or Nature checks, you're welcome to. And that includes everybody,
No.
all around.
9.
You love those 9s and 8s.
I'm just sitting. I live here.
18 for nature.
Okay.
Guys.
8. While this is going on, are there injured people around that I can
Yes.
just do some medicine checks on?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and give me, you come up to, there's a few people that were struck by the lightning. There are a few people with burns. There are a few people that got bludgeoned by, so if you want to go ahead
Patching
and...
people up with my herbalism
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Give me, why don't you give me a series of medicines? Just give me 3 medicine checks.
19, 10,
Okay.
and 17.
Cool. I would say with all of those, and I think that you're getting help from a couple of the giants.
For me, I have a healer's kit, so I'd probably be helping.
Okay.
too,
I only
first
got a
aid.
6, but I think it's also because I'm really not talking to anybody yet. I'm more chatting just to people that
Yes.
I might know, and
Yeah.
I'm already preoccupied with something else at this point.
I feel like, you're kind of over the storm.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're like, that happened.
I'm
and
back
now...
I'm back to business.
Yeah. And that is something that is happening here, is that you're realizing that it's all the people that you work with that everybody from the Shifting Sands is now in here. The entertainers, the charioteers, the gladiator fighters. Everybody's in
Yeah,
here.
it looks like I'm telling people like, don't worry, you're getting paid.
yeah.
You know, let's call this an act of God.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So nature, you're the only
18.
one that did it.
Yeah.
Within your history of how long have you been alive?
130 and some change.
I think that with a nature check in general, I think you would know this is just unnatural, and that you're like, nature doesn't really work this way.
So then I'm going to turn to Sala and, that's not how nature works. Purple lightning, something about that made the non-existent hairs on the back of my neck stand.
You have horns, you can have hair.
I don't.
Much like Yip, also hairless.
Yes, a hairless man.
So a third of us are in fact hairless.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I didn't get a very high Arcana check, but could we stipulate that I did recognize a similarity?
I think you could do it with advantage, and yes. I think I should have given you advantage in the first place.
Yeah, I may not know what it is, but I think I can see. Like, I don't know why it is. What it is.
Nope.
That's a bit worse.
But, I mean...
But it does. It
looks familiar to
look
you.
and feel to me like it's related to what I can
Yeah,
do.
because you were having a certain... I feel like what happened to you outside was just a, like, reaction. Like you could... An uncontrolled reaction.
Well, I feel like Gary... I mean, Atsari, which we haven't explained to you, they're kind of like mer people. They're like fish men.
That's what...
Yeah. And they also they're very sensitive to psychic vibes and to the weather. And so they're their moods change with the weather. And so when the storm happened, he had this really strange feeling he's never had before, which was not a normal, like, oh, I'm happy because it's sunny. But like, I'm crazed because this is like some kind of weird force that he recognizes from his magical abilities, but he doesn't know what it means or what it is.
You were in a charged environment.
Yeah.
And you got charged.
Gary had his first manic phase.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe second after seeing Brungus.
Well, I mean, yeah,
That's fair.
that's rational.
Right.
Okay. Have you guys ever heard of a band named Rungus?
You definitely have.
I mean, I of course have. I've always wanted to join one of the bands in town, but I'm too shy.
Which is saying a lot.
I mean, like, I can talk to people.
Yeah.
But to sing to that's a lot.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sala will just be like, well...
I will say, I don't know what that was, but I think for all agree it wasn't natural and it might have been intentional. An intentional attack upon the festival.
Would I know?
So I should have prepared for something even bigger than...
Well, how do you prepare for something
I don't
like
know.
Always prepare for the unprepared.
Rabble's up on one of the, like, he's like scrabbled up one of the, like, the table legs onto, like, one of the giant tables, and now he's just exploring what the
And
giants
you're
are making.
seeing this. You're seeing this potential here of,
Right.
you know what I mean? Someone that might be pretty good at these, the things you manage and these fights that you do, because you like showy fighters.
Right,
That's
yes.
your whole vibe.
So I'm still talking to my people I know, but I'm keeping an eye on them.
Can I roll a
he's so, like,
perception to
it's like
see?
the weird, like, disjointed, like, climb
Yeah.
up the, like,
Can I-
his
can
limbs
I-
are moving in ways that looks like they shouldn't.
Can I roll a perception on this character?
Yeah, we're
This-
kind of noticing his vibe and the way he's looking at Rabble.
Yeah.
I'm going to nudge you.
You can
so
do
give
insight check?
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I give her advantage by, like, being like,
Sure.
Nat 20.
Okay, so this comes in where, like, what you're inciting, what are you trying to incite?
I'm trying to figure out why he's looking at him like he's a piece of meat.
So, with insight, I mean, you can tell me how you're feeling when you're looking at Rabble, and that's kind of what she can read off your face, essentially.
Okay,
Like,
well, I'm seeing he has some potential, but I'm not sure kind of what field yet. But I know I can use him somehow.
Okay.
I know
Excuse
I can
me,
make
sir-
money
sir?
off of him.
Get your eyes off of my partner.
And I just gotta go.
So I think you can also insight from what he's wearing and his garb that, and also I will say this, that most likely on he probably has the golden R of Revel Inc. on his suit.
Yeah,
So-
can I like throwing star his card down to Seer and be like, it's okay, he's a promoter.
Yes, you can totally do that.
Okay.
And on it it'll say Yip Hart, Howl of South, Revel Inc. manager.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna scrabble up behind. Well.
You gonna put on a show?
Yeah.
Climb up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna scurry on up right behind.
And Sala
you.
sees this and will come up to you and say, honestly, these two, I forgot your name.
I'll call back from the top of the table. It's like, we're working on it. We're
So they're
workshopping.
Rebel rousers.
But I would know that they're all potential gladiators.
these two specifically,
Okay.
and you would have heard something about the the Dune Walker as well.
What have I heard about the Dune Walker?
So you've heard that, so in general, because you're from the desert, you've heard that someone named the Dune Walker has been traversing the desert, helping people, almost like a vigilante kind of thing. And then you heard that he was in the underbelly doing some fighting, and he was doing some really good PvP, like one-on-one fighting. But he did something different where not all of the fighting he did was physical, like actually contact. Some of it was, it seemed like psychic, some sort of capabilities.
So I'm going up to him immediately. I give him my card.
Be a man without
I go,
touching him.
Your part. Out of the South, baby. I've heard some things about you.
Have you?
Oh, I've heard all kinds of things around. I hear everything around here.
Yeah, I would say Yip is very in the know.
Yes, yes.
I do wear a mask for my
You do, yes.
matches and
Yes.
stuff like that. So, but you might still recognize.
You might be wearing it from
Yeah,
like what
true,
was happening,
true,
you know.
yeah.
Maybe you took it down, but maybe he saw it before. Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's talk later. I think I might have some ideas.
Well, I don't know.
Just hear me out.
Merritt, I think you can trust him. Look how cool
You know
his
what?
suit
Yeah, I
is.
think that this is a perfect time for me to bring out these growlers. And I bring out some like giant-sized growlers that are home brews from Ezron.
And I go,
Yeah.
just a second, baby. And I start drinking.
and there are a couple of these that just have very bizarre taste. Like he was experimenting with hops in a weird way.
How
like
big are these tankards?
I mean, so they're growlers for giants.
Okay.
And giants are 4 times people. So they're like
Grain
big
silos?
for me.
A barrel.
Probably like a
basically.
barrel,
Yeah,
like about
Yeah,
here.
and I would say that they're small chiseled bowls, you know, like for the
Oh,
miniature
yeah.
town
Oh,
that
yeah.
you can dip in and you can drink.
I've pulled my straw out of my suit already, and I'm working with that.
You're used to this
Yeah,
shit.
listen,
You're
I've-
used
I've
to
figured
this.
this
I
out.
said maybe
Yeah.
with a little bit of help.
Can I roll acrobatics to swan dive from the top of the table into one of the...
Yes, you absolutely can.
You know what's so funny? I was like, can I dive into it? That's why I was asking how big it was. You want to do synchronized swimming?
Yes.
Synchronized dive.
These are
Right.
important things happening here.
What are we
Oh
rolling?
my gosh.
Acrobatics.
Okay, with your natural 20, what did you get in?
Are we rolling acrobatics?
Yeah.
13.
Okay. I feel like Rebel definitely overshadows you.
I do the perfect, just like can opener.
and there's no splash.
Right. Just little,
I'm just at a sink and I definitely splash.
Yeah, you do. You basically cannonball into it.
Look, I'm excited.
and as soon as I hit the ale, it discolors.
Oh, and also if you gross. Yeah, no one drink out of that one.
Oh no, I'm just in there, just like.
Well, and also your hit point. What if you've lost any hit points? They're back because of your tankard. Your
Oh right, yeah.
Your
Oh right.
amulet of the drunkard.
Oh,
right.
this is here for you.
Drinking makes me feel better.
Yeah. So whatever hit points you've lost, you get those back. Okay. So you're all kind of sitting around this like little mini town. Yip's doing some managerial work, trying to figure some out. And I think Sal is ready to have a conversation about what's going on. And maybe we should start.
Oh, well, your name was Magnilda.
Yes.
Do you happen to have any elder people in this village who might know something about whatever that was? Might know about magical things or lore, perhaps?
I can go ask my grandma. She's been around as long as about anybody has. But I can tell you that is not a normal thing. That is a entryway that has been carved out intentionally. It has never had even so much as a hairline fracture in it. And that sort of like change, like we've seen dust storms, we've seen dry heat, lightning. That was not like anything I've ever seen.
It was powerful and also very targeted.
I'll go get my grandma and see what she has to say about this.
Well, before you leave, Rabble's kind of like leaning on the edge of the barrel, and he's sort of like, you know, like how you lean on like the edge of a pool. And he's like, Sala, weren't we What about the thing with the threat from the people who said, oh, like divine wrath will rain down from the skies on the rebel party about, because that's like, like the thing with the notes that was on the chariot.
Yeah.
About the stuff.
Yep.
This seems kind of like it lines up a little bit with that.
It does a little bit. Yeah, what did it say? It said something like, I wrote it.
It was signed by the person who sent it.
God. Yeah, you're right. It did say something like that. So that definitely could be something.
I don't love that non-desert churches are affecting the Rebel Fest. Like, I think that, Yip, if you could do me a favor while I'm gone and get things back going, I'll get a couple more tankards and we can get people back to partying, and we'll just have like a little fest in here. But I'll be back to talk to you guys about what's been weird.
Can we put out just a warning about Devanya as well, just in case she
that's
makes
a good
her way
idea.
in here? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you fill in if you want to fill Maglinda and Yip in on that. Yeah, you can.
So there was this lady we were trailing.
Person of interest.
And we think she's involved with certain things that have already happened, and if this is connected to that, we might want to keep an eye out for her. She's, I don't know her exact description, but she's wearing white as far as we know, and
You recognize who they're talking about.
Yeah.
You visually, it seems familiar from someone that you've seen walking the desert. You've seen people walking the desert around this area randomly as of recently.
Right.
You, however, when they reference the headless charioteer and the note and all that stuff, you knew Mithril.
Yes.
And he trained.
And I'm going like this, like.
Yeah. So he trained with some of the charioteers that you manage, and you've actually been on stage with him once or twice as like a heel. You knew about the woman he'd been seeing. And the description that they're giving you with the tattoo.
I'm just going like
and
this.
Yeah. She told you once that she knew many secrets of the desert, and that soon our time would come. And you took it as, you thought it was just weird and creepy, and you were just like, you don't really think much of it, because you're just like, you don't judge people on their tastes in others. You're just like, okay, Mithril found a weird one. But when they described that she was wearing a pendant, but they couldn't see it, I assume that you described that. Give me a history check to see if you can describe what her pendant looked like.
So I don't know her name. I just met her.
Yeah, you just met her off the...
Which one?
I think you and Mithril were drinking, and she just with her, and she was around.
Right. 10, 11. So 11.
When you're trying to think back to the pendant that you saw, you remember it having something to do, there were some vines on it. And that's all that you
I didn't
kind
really
of...
pay much attention.
You were all drinking, and you were all hanging around the table, and you just remember thinking she was weird.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
I'm going to go to get my grandma and say, oh, that sounds very interesting. I'll spread the word. But as I go, I'm going to cast message to you, so you hear my voice inside of your head, which is something we've probably been doing since we were kids.
Right.
And I'm going to be like, I saw someone of that description walking around in the desert dunes near here, near us, just randomly at night. That used to be a thing that, you don't see people wandering this far
I'm
out.
going to go like this. And then I'm going to shoot back at you, just fucking with you. This is like a running joke.
Yeah. You look back and you're like, come on, dude.
I did this as I get to the door.
While Maggie is getting her grandma, I think we should take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back.
check it out.
Okay, so you're all in this little mini town within a big city.
No, we're sitting here. Does Gary see people living in this town? Is it vacant?
There's no people just like hang out.
I will say they have like tiny carved people that
Also,
look like a
yes.
variety of different, especially like people that there are legends about. So like, you know, the equivalent of Hercules, and then there's like
A lot of like there's like carved out chariots, like gladiators and stuff like that.
And some of them
But no one
function.
li-
Look,
no
this
one
one's
lives.
door opens.
Yeah, no one lives
gotcha,
in.
gotcha.
No.
Okay.
So Magnilda comes back with Agra, and Agra's also has a cane and is slowly following behind.
I push a big chair for her.
And she's 20 feet tall ish.
Well, with her hunch, she's probably
I understand.
16, 18 feet. Yeah.
Oh, hello again.
Hello.
I'll reach up to like shake her hand.
She will. She'll. I guess cane on this side, and yeah, she'll just go like this. Yes, rabble.
Yes. Agra. Good to meet you again.
Good to see you. Well, that was a certain turn of events that I've not seen in, well, ever. In the years that I've been here, that never tumbled like that with all the rocks. Unusual.
But it was caused by an electric storm outside.
Is that what that was?
It was like purple electricity. I've never seen anything like it.
It wasn't normal lightning. It was some other sort of forceful purple lightning. Does that ring a bell?
Well, if you're describing, you said purple lightning, and what did the sky look like?
Royal in clouds. All of a sudden, it had been a clear night.
What color were the clouds?
I'm going to.
They were black, guys. How many times did I say it?
I was more focused on the color of the light.
They were like
It's not supposed to be purple.
big rolling black clouds.
Yeah, like normal clouds, Grandma.
Like storm clouds.
They were black.
Blacker than normal storm clouds?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a natural black, like it blacked out the night sky.
Okay.
Like
I was
black
looking
is
at the
black.
lights.
Yeah.
I'm gently coaxing the band into playing something that might put people at ease.
Which band is playing?
I don't know why.
Any of the bands. You don't know, I don't think. You just see me talking to a band.
It's not
not-
Rungus.
Is it Aerosmith?
Yeah, it might be Aerosmith.
Spelled ARROW.
Yeah. SMITH.
And for the T, there's smithing tools.
Yeah. She looks at you and she says, "I've never heard of that. You said black clouds and purple lightning. You know, in my day, it was just normal, like gray clouds and
What? It still is normal.
Yeah, I
Normal.
don't think it changed with
regular
the times.
lightning.
I think it's
Yeah, like white.
yeah, like white.
yeah,
lightning.
that's normal for us too.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why we're kind of asking about it, because it was
The
abnormal.
old wise people.
You know, I wouldn't know about all that, but it doesn't sounds a little unsettling.
It was very unsettling, Grandma. You've been very sweet.
I'm glad I was in
You're
here.
a great help. Thank you.
for
You know,
all
back
of
in
your
my
insight.
day, we carved rocks. Oh wait, I think we still do that.
How old would I know how old giants get?
You would. They get up to like 150.
So she's older than I am.
Yeah, she is. Now how old are... Hello! I see you have a similar hunch as me.
Feels
You're
like a
also
mistake.
elderly.
You You also are an elder.
Your spine goes like this.
The mark of the old.
The days we've seen.
The days we've seen.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Agra? Or?
Not that.
No.
I mean,
Unless
you
you have any-
guys seem
You know,
kind
Grandma,
of like...
why don't you come over and listen to the music?
I love music. I will listen to it.
Well, I mean, this
And I'm
might
going,
be
Grandma!
Yeah,
Grandma!
yeah. Oh, Yippee! All right, I'll go over and talk to old Yippee.
I mean, there's perhaps you might know something about those. I don't know. You guys seem kind of hung up on some pictures that we saw when we came in. It was on the walls.
But seemingly unrelated. It's just the histories of these halls and these people.
Oh, this I had no idea what it was about. I saw you guys just sort of like staring at the wall for a second. I was like, oh, let's do this thing.
Perhaps
It's the story of our people. You know, the
I know.
history of our people whenever we moved here, the 250 years that we've lived here, being pushed out by the howling.
I'm not from the region.
Oh, well, that's it.
That's what it is.
I mean, you ever been to a history class?
I mean, does there seem
I'm
to be
12
any
years old.
connection between like the corruption
Oh, okay.
that was happening during the
so
howling? And...
what's like the story of your people?
I don't know.
That's
We
weird.
don't live
That's
long
a
enough.
That's a weirder experience than
I
what
mean,
I'm describing.
We don't usually live long enough to really for it to really factor in a lot of ways. It's
Oh.
sort of just
That's sad. Are you at middle age?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
well, approaching.
Merritt, what were you asking?
Does there seem to be any connection between like the history that we know of the howling and like the kind of cataclysmic events that are happening right now, or is it kind of?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about like.
Yeah.
There's been some weird stuff happening. That's not the first weird thing that's been happening around here. There's been
Oh,
What have you been
these
seeing?
tremors that have been coming up from very deeper than we go, and you know we've even had to close a whole mine because we're afraid of the cave-ins that are happening. Usually, our people are very, very good at predicting when the earth is going to be moving and in what ways, but these seem different. I think
don't know
that there
what
was
I'm gonna
actually
do.
one during.
I don't know what I'm going to do if I keep losing chariot racers.
Yeah.
They keep disappearing.
Seems like there's bigger things at hand right now, but
Well, no, there was one during the last chariot. There was one during the last chariot race.
Yeah.
I wasn't in town for that one. I heard there was some strange thing that happened with a guy named Mithril.
I know I saw some of your folk watching the festival just for fun as we approached. Were any watching the chariot as it was underway out in the desert? Just kind of like saying, "Oh, there it goes. That guy's going pretty fast."
I mean, I'm sure that there were some people that saw the chariot, but a lot of people were inside dealing with the unusual tremor. There were
and it was about the
every
same
time that
time.
there's one, we have to go make sure that everything's
Yeah, that's what
solid.
she was saying, that it was happening at the same
At the same
time.
time as the chariot
And
race.
that's and
And did you say you only lost Mithril or more than one chariot?
No, I said, well, I've lost a lot of chariots. Well, some of them come back, they just end up in different parts of the desert. And then some of them just disappear forever.
I guess Sala's probably here.
Does anyone ever?
What do you know about this, Sala?
I think he's referring to the vanishing point,
Yeah.
which is near here. We've talked about the vanishing point.
Well, I didn't know it was anything other than a place name.
Yeah, it's known for charioteers going missing during races, and then they just pop up in some other part of the desert.
So it's
They
sort
make
of
their
like
way
the Bermuda Triangle.
And then some we haven't seen again.
And I think
does that always coincide
Well,
with
it's
the
a piece of
tremor?
fabric, and I pull out a Bermuda-colored triangle.
I would say that I think so. But and the tremors really only happen within as far as you know.
Yeah, they're very deep down there.
near the
Like-
underneath the quarry.
Yeah, so
One
there's like a
follow-up question. How long has this been happening?
It's been happening for about a half a year now. And the mines actually have been closed for, one specific mine has been closed for another specific reason.
Yeah, the Bronze Hollow, we've even had to close. And I think that it's something that got kicked up. So the tremors are probably coming from the Devil's Backbone. And so they're just kind of coming up from the very, very depths. And I think that something was shaken loose from the Devil's Backbone. And there's been these weird plants that, like, overgrew through...
Okay. Whoa. Okay. So, vanishing point.
Yes.
We got to go back there for just a second.
Sure.
Has the vanishing point been something that has been established longer than 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
And the tremors are just the new part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tremors are the new part, have only been happening for 6 months. Vanishing point has always been a vanishing point.
Yes.
You said weird plants have been popping up?
Yeah, the Bronze Hollow, we used to get some really prime stone there.
So the Bronze Hollow is a former quarry? And
It's one of the
It's a
mines.
mine.
it's one of the mines.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a slope mine.
What was happening at the Bronze Quarry?
Some plants just overgrew it, which is really strange. There's not a lot of plant life down here.
But you
This
said
is-
that the Bronze Hollow is where the is this deeper?
So the Bronze Hollow is heading down. There's a lot of places that you can enter the Devil's Backbone. Like every culture has a Devil's Backbone. It's the depth of the wood. It's the edge of the okay place to be. You tell kids about it, so you keep them on the inside. And you know, once I went down, whenever I was a kid, I got dared to find the edge of the Devil's Backbone, and I found an entrance, and it did not feel right, so I left.
Okay.
But the Devil's Backbone goes down past the Bronze Hollow, and I think that this weird plant life is coming up from that.
Is the plant life dangerous?
Oh yeah, no.
Did you say it's carnivorous?
Attacking?
The little rats are getting caught in it and they don't come back. We've had to shut it down because we haven't had the chance to go down and clear it out. But it's definitely making things disappear.
I think we just encountered one of those plants in the middle of Leeton.
Well, so were you
It's weird
saying
that it's all the way out there.
you were saying the Bronze Hollow that is like an entrance point to the Devil's Backbone?
So the Bronze Hollow is a slope mine. So
Okay.
so this quarry, not only do these giants do mining, not quarry work, which is on the outside, as it's. I can also show you kind of what the place looks. You can
Pass it around.
Pass it around. It's really crappy, but that's the entrance. And then the quarry goes that way, and then there's entrances to the mines on the other side.
And then these are those.
So the mines go
waters.
down underneath the ground. The quarry is above the ground.
So what's being mined down in these deep mines?
Gypsum and lead stone and various
Minerals.
and metals. We make good trade. If you're not buying bloodstone, you're buying our stone.
Okay. These when we were fighting those plants earlier, were they potted plants?
They weren't.
I grew up here.
Did they just have roots? Or
You didn't see
They
the
were
roots.
coming up from the.
they're
They
coming
were
up out
like
of
It was
the.
a cellar,
Standing
so
at
it
the
was.
rock.
They're coming up out of the floor of the cellar itself.
Yeah.
Oh, so they weren't like they hadn't been brought there. They were just growing up out of the floor. Here's another question for Magnilda, which was, well, and you too. You'd both seen this mysterious woman in the white. Did she seem to be part of the people who are from this region, or just strangers? Like, is there a settlement of people that she might have belonged to? That you know of?
No, I know most of the things that wander around in the dunes at night. Like you can tell if it's Yip over there stumbling home, but the rest of clearly not a part of any of the other groups that I know of.
Groups, all right.
I do think she may have had something to do with your missing charioteer. Well, I guess, he's only really mostly missing.
There's all kinds of legends of why this happens, but like I said, this is all to scare children.
Yes. Let's hope so.
I mean, I wouldn't go there because once you get too deep, you get lost, right? And so it's just a way to keep kids from...
Oh, no, I just mean in reference to this Devanya woman seems to continue to show up, and I think there's enough sort of cursory links to her that might warrant a little more in-depth conversation.
I met her in passing. She's a little weird.
Yes, it's always the little weird ones. If you're big weirds, that's fine. I get your whole deal right off the bat. But a little weird, it means there's something else there.
You're hiding something.
You're hiding something. If you're only a little weird, it means you're hiding something.
I hate to suggest this because it sounds very unpleasant to me, but should we check out this devil's backbone?
I can take you to the edge of the devil's backbone, but I don't know if I'd go much further because it's different there. Things change in a unnatural way. As you get close, you hear whispers in the mines. Very spooky.
Yeah. I don't like being underground.
I mean, if it's our only lead, though.
Well, we can't leave either, so...
Yeah, is there some other way out besides that front entrance that collapsed?
You would know that there are some ways out, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So not trapped here.
no.
Yeah, there's like
They're
the equivalent of a garage. in
Yeah,
the back.
so when you get into the quarry, there's like, it's very tall because they've been digging down into it. So it's basically like a big wall. And so giants would be easy. And there's pulleys and stuff where you could get up, but then getting down is a whole different thing. And then there is a big shaft tunnel that leads through the cliffside out of the quarry into another area of the desert.
But I say while we're here, we should check it out.
How long do we know would it take to get down there just to take a peek?
Well, that depends. And I pull a substance out and I take it in various
You have some way of
ways.
going down there quickly.
Oh!
Just rub it.
You ready to go? Can I some of that? Oh. I always meant to be
You're
sure.
just like, what is this?
I just
Explain
repeat the
this. What
motion.
is
It's
it?
kinda, you can't tell it's going in my nose, in my mouth,
Yeah.
in my eyes. I'm just kind of like...
Is it like a mist? Or is it like a...
We
it's
call
like
it orifice
It's like a baby
mist.
powder. And
Okay.
I'm just kind of splashing around, but it's definitely like intentionally going in my eyes and
Okay.
nose and mouth.
Oh yeah, and I'll just take it and just sort of like bury my face in it for a second and do the...
Give me a con saving throw.
You know, I was kind of...
Is this up or down?
You don't know yet.
Uh-oh. 7.
It's a little both, I guess.
I think that you, all of a sudden, you feel your pupils get very, very big. And,
You can see a lot.
you have not done it. You've done many drugs, but you've not done this one before.
Is this like a blend? It takes a little bit, just
Could
like...
I do either medicine or insight or something to see what the effect is?
Yeah.
Like whether...
Yeah, give me medicine.
I feel great. I feel like I have like
I
an
think the
orientation.
effect is a lot like more like a psychedelic situation.
Yeah.
Also kind of a high. Like you're
Yeah,
just like you're
it's
kind of hyped, but it's also kind of like everything is heightened. Yeah.
It's not an upper, it's a diagonal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go, it's a 16.
You saw his pupils get real big, and you can tell
I'm good
that.
to go, guys.
And is this, how do you have this stuff? What is this stuff in?
Listen, Merritt, you're asking a lot of questions right now, and I think
You're
that it's
making me
just
get
time.
a little nervous.
Hey,
about-
I'm Merritt.
Get it, hold on.
Okay. He's
Alright.
gone.
I can't. This is like the third substance you've seen me pull out of my suit. They're all in little pouches, but different labeled by color.
I'm gonna go ahead and, if I can, take it as if I'm about to take it.
Like you just look at me kind of like you want some, and I'm just like this.
Right, okay, but what I'm gonna do is take a bit of it out and put it in one of my pouches and hand it back.
He's a big
For
sharer.
later.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Can we say this is a short rest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's super late. It is very late.
You know, we can all also rest before we do anything.
I don't know. I mean, I just had some powder.
You know what? I can just
feel
let
like
you have
I'm
some more of this
awake.
beer that you dope in and that is
Try some
not
of this
usable.
then.
Okay.
That'll make you go a different direction.
I think Phil comes back in, so you see the human engineer.
Oh, Dad, what's the story?
Yeah, so he's gonna come in. He's like, well, fun situation for us.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Yeah, you can.
19.
He's super stoked. We get to figure out what happened infrastructurally with this whole cave-in situation, because this has never happened. So it's gonna take us probably all night to try to uncover the entrance. I was gonna say, it looks like you've already got some festivities going. There's music playing, people are drinking. If you want to continue the Shifting Sands Ball here for the night, we can.
Rebel's just like huffing as he's talking. He's like,
We should talk about whatever's going on with that. I bet Yip got into your. Yeah. You got into Yip's.
I mean, let's go start moving these rocks. Like I said, you're hyped. I'm hyped. Let's go check out these fucking rocks.
We would love help. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he kind of says you're welcome to hang out here for the night and figure out what you want to do plan wise. It's up to you guys. Whatever.
Yeah,
But
we can all do is-
accommodations will be given. There's plenty of food.
Plenty of entertainment.
Plenty of entertainment. Get some fight. And Phil's like,
could
maybe
even-
get some fights going.
Oh, I could fight someone.
Yeah. So it's up to you guys.
I say we stay.
All right. Yeah.
It's been a very long day.
It's been a very long.
You guys have had a really long day.
Especially, you mentioned cave-ins and things like that. If we get stuck down there, I don't think it'd be best for us.
Being at the Devil's Backbone at midnight doesn't sound like a good idea.
I mean,
Well,
it's
and-
always dark out there.
That's
down
a
there.
cool song name, though.
But I do think we should.
Fun at midnight.
That is pretty cool. And I will say that you also know, you and Yip, I mean, you've talked, that these tremors do happen a lot at night. And when you've been seeing these people and you've been experience these really deep tremors, so there might be something where you can stay up if you experience one. I don't know what you could glean from just a tremor, but
That was a real shaky one.
yeah, you're like, oh, that was shakier than the other one.
I mean, our best people can identify roughly where most of them start, but these ones are weird. They're not in the places things usually happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sending a team over to get a promo set up. So, what's your name, baby?
Rabble.
So Rabbit's gonna do a promo. Make sure it's set up.
Oh, I can do a promo.
You got
right
it,
now.
boss! And these little dwarves all go get up. I don't know what they're promoting. I guess they start to paint a picture of Rabble and and they're like,
He
yeah.
can't sit. He's not sitting still long enough for them to
Hey, sit still. What are you doing?
No, and I shove the painting in his face. I'm like, I'm gonna go up to the table and see what they're working on up there.
Okay.
There's this little maniac who's high out of his mind.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say that maybe I would love to hear one of Yip Hart's How the South introductions to a fight. I think that what happens is
I was gonna say what I was thinking is that perhaps if you wouldn't mind, we could stage a small fight between the two of us.
ooh, okay.
A scrimmage.
That actually is it doesn't matter how synthetic a confidence it is in Rabble from whatever drug. The fight of Sierra, or the prospect of a fight with Sierra, still makes him question himself for half a second. Where he's like, he's like, yeah, okay.
Don't go easy on
I'm
me.
already pulling them up onto a stage.
Okay.
And
So
but there's no microphones. Right?
there's no microphone,
So
but
I'm grabbing one of those big
all right.
things.
I like one of the call horns or whatever. Or
Megaphone.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a night for you. It's gonna get
The
gory.
crowd are just 1% going,
It's gonna get bloody.
Woo!
We're gonna
That's
have
just
two
one person.
friends fight each other.
Yeah!
We might ruin some relationships tonight.
Woohoo!
We might build a few
Toxicity!
Come here, son. Baby, tell him who you are.
Rabble.
Next rebel, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's just like, his eyes are still just like fucking dinner plates.
Who are you, baby?
I'm his Granny Sierra.
Granny Sarah!
Yeah.
Do you guys want to actually fight?
I don't know. Do you want to just like roll like acrobatics, athletic, like something? Or do
Yeah, and
wanna...
you can maybe describe like a couple of your
yeah.
fun little acts that you do.
So right before I go on stage, that little pouch of powder, and then I'm going in.
Oh, you do it too?
Yeah. But I did it later, so.
We do drugs and
We're
fight.
doing drugs together. Yeah.
Stay in school, kids.
Keep your grades up.
Don't.
Don't.
Unless it makes you money.
Exactly. Why don't you guys go ahead and roll initiative? So we'll just do this a couple times so we can see who goes first.
8.
20.
Okay. Rabble's up to go.
So Rabble just does the full on, just like bug on a wall where it just like moves really fast a short distance, then sort of like feels out a little bit, and then moves really fast again, feels a short distance. He just does that all across the. I imagine this is a cage fight. If it's not, let me have it.
It is.
But he's just like scurrying all over the walls, and then he's sort of like takes a position on a wall, and he just like watches Sierra like hammer and knife at the ready as Sierra like walks in.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of
Do the granny.
I get a little even shorter than 3'8", and I'm just like really, really curling in on myself. And then in the middle of the ring, I'm gonna just grab my glaive with the 2 hands and then just roll my back and like just and then I'm gonna hold an action for if he comes at me. I'm gonna slice him with my glaive.
Oh, I 1000% do. Like as soon as you go I go and I just like dash at you.
Okay. We could do like athletics or
I'm gonna
acrobatics.
athletics.
That's cocked. It's dirty 20.
21.
Ooh. So Sierra gets a slice in.
Yeah, and my intention is not to actually harm him, so I don't even have my blade out.
You, like-
I'm just trying to trip you or do something theatrical.
Right, no, like I spring at you and you like push me off and like shove me into like the side of the cage.
Yeah, like one of those, yeah. Alright, and then as you get up, I'm going to charge at you as if I'm like barreling down with my horns.
Okay.
And that is a dirty 20.
I got a 16.
Yeah, so the way I'm gonna do it is how they do it in WWE, where they just like miss you, so I just like graze but you, of course, fall very dramatically as if I've gored you.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Alright. 13.
Okay.
So is this the final round?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Rabble, I think Sierra like has him up against the ropes and it's like getting real close. And then he like blink strikes behind you and like hits you in the back of the head with like the handle of his hammer. And not like hard, like the stage like thunk.
Right.
To where it's audible but not actually like hard. Like maybe I like clip your horn so it resonates a little more. Maybe do like the stumble a little bit.
I grab my head and stumble. And then
collapse.
And then I think everybody looks at you for the match
result.
Yeah,
result and wrap up.
And I'm like standing on top of Sierra, just like
Ragu.
Rabble.
Rabble. Round 1 goes to Ragu!
Cool. So you guys spend the night doing whatever, partying, and maybe, if you want to discuss a plan, we can eventually things, dwindle down, people start to pass out or just go to sleep. And I'd say that there's probably a nice fire going where you can sit around, and there's accommodations for you. You don't have to just like lay on stones. There are fluffy things too. But yeah.
But it's good for your back if you lay on stones. So, just saying, from a chiropractic standpoint.
And I will say that. I think that Phil would probably come back in, and your mother probably would come and show her face a little bit. And behind her, you notice your very your prized steed.
Yes,
if you will.
my sand strider.
That's right.
Which is he's like a big camel, but like a reptile. And I instantly get horse girl energy about this thing. And it's like on the parts that get wear, he has this like kind of quill, fluff, feathery, like fur situation, but it's patchy. This little guy.
But yeah, he's got like purple and blue reptilian skin.
He's gorgeous.
And if you imagine like camel, but just with like more of like reptile eyes, and it's kind of when it breathes, it kind of just breathes hot smoke.
I'm gonna approach this creature.
Okay, it is large, so it is towering over you.
Okay, can I roll for like either animal handling or something?
Yeah, you can do animal handling, and I think that you'd have it
He's
with
my big
advantage
boy.
because this is Magnilda's.
Okay, and
He's
before
very
I approach,
domesticated.
Is it okay? May I approach?
Yes, he's very sweet. He's such a sweetie.
And then I'm gonna kind of, I don't know, whistle or like to get him to attempt to
I hand
bring
you
his
a
head.
rock.
Okay, so I
and he
take the
looks
rock.
at that and he starts to drool.
That would be a 22.
Yeah. If you have the rock in your hand, he's just gonna immediately. You're gonna see his big old mouth open, and you see these real big flat teeth, and he's just gonna go, and it's just eating rock, and it's just gulping it
Pebbles
down.
just flying.
And you can also feel like this heat coming from. It's like it's smoky heat coming out from his mouth. too.
Can I go ahead and put my little bulbous, like sticky hand on his?
Yeah, he's got
face.
big old eyes.
All right, and then I'm just gonna silently just
And he goes,
commune with him.
And there's like smoke, and he's just like, wow.
He's a good guy. He's so sweet.
I am in love.
You're introduced to once more another family member of, really honestly, Yip and Magnilda, and
This is my mother, Glotta, Lime Slinger, and you guys met my dad, Phil Lime Slinger Jones, and this is my baby. I named him whenever I was just a child, and that's why his name is Dusty. Because I named everything Dusty for a little while there.
Yeah, your mom chips in and says, I believe you were calling Yip Dusty for a while.
Yep. Well, I mean,
it works. It still is that accurate.
I guess it's a different kind of dust now, but
Yeah.
you know.
and you, it's always been this kind of
I
dust.
wiped the remaining dirt off my face.
And you can see that Phil just has like heart eyes for Glotta. Just
Yeah.
very
I feel
into
like
that.
she probably came in carrying him.
she clearly does not love him as much, and that's okay.
There's a little fire going. You kind of converse with the family, hang out with Dusty.
I think once the drugs wear off, Rabble like crashes hard, but in like a weird way where like for the first time he like walks up and like hangs from the ceiling as he sleeps, and his coat just sort of like droops over him as like this weird like cocoon.
Okay, cool.
And he just like you hear snoring coming from inside. He's just out.
We'll be fine.
It's very normal. Okay.
It's abnormal, but
Yeah, it is. So everybody goes into their own, wherever you want to sleep, wherever you prefer. You have your own place to sleep. You have your own home. Yip sleeps wherever.
I sleep right on the
If
ground.
you sleep, I
Right
don't
on the
know.
ground,
Yeah.
Not around anyone else.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, when I go to sleep, I find a corner where no one can see me.
He's always welcome to the guest room, but he usually does not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He finds it suspicious.
So Yip eventually disappears, and you don't know where he is. So we'll close in on the campfire, kind of dwindling, and just down to coals, and everybody getting some rest. And that's it for this episode of Auroboros, Coils of the Serpent. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to War Chief Gaming for this campaign setting. Thank you to our guests right now, Brock and Andrea. Appreciate that. And you're going to see more of them soon. Make sure to look out for this next episode. I don't know when it's going to come out, but see you then. Thank you.
More.
More weight.